Alright, let's take a look at what we did in class for 1.4 Scout's workout. So, Scott has decided to add push-ups to his daily exercise routine. He is keeping track of the number of push-ups he completes each day in the bar graph below, with day 1 showing he completed 3 push-ups. After 4 days, Scott is certain he can continue this pattern of increasing the number of push-ups he completes each day. Okay, so we can see the number. So, first question, and by the way, answer all these questions on your own first, trying it on your own, and then come back and see what we've got going on. Alright, so you should have taken a look at this first. Okay, many ways you can enter into this. I like to kind of just track and maybe make a table. So we've got days here, right? So we've got day 1, day 2, day 3, day 4, day 5, and we want to get down to day 10, right? So, and we've got day 0, if we were to work backwards, okay? Which doesn't always make sense in the context, but mathematically it does. So, push-ups. So day 1 he had 3. Day 2 he had 5. Then he had 7. So hopefully we've noticed a pattern here, right? That looks like we're going up by 2 each day. Right? We're adding 2. So we go 8, 8, wow. 9, then 11, then 13. So we're using that previous number and then the growth to get the next. So 15, 17, 19, 21, and 23. So he does 23 push-ups on day 1. Okay, so now how many will he do on day n? So remember, whenever they ask you it in this way, they want the equation. Okay, so let's use this same concept. So let's say if we're looking for 11, okay, we go back to that previous. So to find the next, that's the previous, and then we're adding 2. Okay, and then we think, well, where did we start? On day 0. And I just spotted a mistake, didn't I? I actually didn't start at the right one, so my answer is wrong here. Because at day 0, at day 1 we had 3, then 5, then 9, 11, 13, 15, 17, 19, 21, and 23. Okay, so I did something weird, didn't I? So you'll have to go. I must have just written them higher than I thought I had. Okay, so going back to day 1, he would have done 1 push-up, or day 0. So at the start, we had 1, right? Now remember, this is the recursive form where we use the previous to get the next. We have a special way right now. For the next, we write a sub n equals. That represented by the next, okay? The n here just references these, okay? So if I actually wanted to find the 11th, I'd go a sub 11 equals, okay? Then we go, for the previous, is just a sub n minus 1, because the previous term from 11 was the 10th, so that's like a sub 10. And then we just add the growth to it. And then we have to say, where do we start? Okay. So generally we can go a sub 0. Until at 0 we had 1. So a sub 0 equals 1, which that would look the same here. Okay. And so there's our equation. Now that equation has the 2 parts, the growth and the start. Okay. And we can see if we were used to a sub 10, that was 23. 23 plus 2 gives us 25, which is what we would do. Alright? So when we take a look at 3, it says model the number of push-ups Scott will complete on any given day. Okay. Come up with an explicit and recursive. Well, we already talked about the recursive, didn't we? So our recursive is a sub n equals a sub n minus 1 plus 2, and a sub 0 equals 1. Okay, there's our recursive. So our explicit connects the input to the output. Okay, but again, we can use those same numbers of where did we start? We started at 1. Okay, so I'd go the total number of push-ups, we'll call that P, equals where did we start? We started with 1. What was our growth? We were adding 2 each time, so we add 2 per day. Now those days, we don't know how many there are, right? One day we'd add 2, the next day another 2, then another 2, then another 2, but we don't know how many there are. So to deal with that, we do multiplication, which is that repeated addition, and we times it by the variable because we don't know how many there are. So it'd be 1 plus 2d, and there's our explicit equation. Okay. Now 14 says, Allie is also including push-ups in her workout and says she does more push-ups than Scott because she does 15 push-ups every day. Is she correct? Okay, well, think about that. So Scott, as we saw, he actually gets more than 13 after day 7, doesn't he? Okay. Whereas if we look at Allie, okay, on day 0, she does 15 push-ups every day. So we'll say, let's say she started with the same amount, 1. On day 1, she would add 15. Nope, that's incorrect. She would have just done 15, right? So day 0, she does 15 push-ups. Day 1, she does 15 push-ups. Day 2, she does 15. So she's not adding the more push-ups. This plus 2 wasn't how many push-ups he does, it's how many more push-ups he does. So on day 7, he did 17 push-ups that day. Then day 8, 19. So after day 7, or I guess it would be day 6, wouldn't it? Scott will do more. Because Allie isn't changing the number she's doing, and at day 17, she's still doing 15 push-ups. Okay? So that's how that ends up. All right, there we go.